Welcome back, everybody, to the 2016 SSL Season 1. I am Valdez. With me is Wolf tonight. We just had a couple of games of Dark versus Classic in this best of 5, and Dark is up 2-0, playing some dominant Starcraft tonight.
Yeah, and in those games, you know, I feel a twinge of frustration from Classic. And this game is very new, and Zergs are learning to play against Pros a little bit better. Pros are trying to learn to deal with Zerg aggression. This has kind of been the way of Legacy of the Void so far. Classic seems stumped by these lurkers. He's been ahead in both games, like ahead massively in game 2, I would argue.
Take a look at just his facial expression in the booth. That tells it all. We don't even have to say anything. You could just take a look at the way he's looking. Bunch of size, kind of leaning back, you know. But Classic, I mean, he's been in situations like this before. He's not the type of player to just go down like this in a 3-0 against a teammate especially. So we'll see what he can do here in game number 3. We're going to Runes of Ceres right now. So, set number 3 here for Dark versus Classic. Over in the bottom right, in the red, the Zerg player, it is Dark.
And his opponent, down 0-2, needs 3 wins in a row to come back. It is Classic. Rocking that new darker hair, I like it on him. I think we're going to see a safer expand this time with a gate first. And he's also scouting very quickly because it's a 4-player map.
Yeah, this kind of looks like the build he did in game number 1. Just the placement of the buildings, slightly different, of course, for the different map. Is going to scout Dark first on this 4-player map. That's really nice. Gets lucky there. Going to see the exact build. Sees the hatch first into gas pool. Very greedy builds here from Dark. And Classic can just go back and make the Nexus right away.
There's actually been a lot of discussion about this map and this matchup, about spawning locations, because in the past, when you had a PvZ, for example, the Zerg would always love cross spawns. Like, I'm cross spawns, I've got more time to get my eco up, and I'm going to be in a much better place for it. It's tougher for the Pros to be aggressive with, like, say, Blink Stalker Immortal. Oh, is he going to lose a drone?
Oh my god. A couple more hits. But nice response there from Dark, yeah.
But I feel like, especially considering Dark's playstyle in this matchup, I think he will prefer this horizontal spawn location because he can get his lurkers over there faster. He can constantly be aggressive, you know, even with his speedlings early on into then, you know, his Hydras, his Roaches, and his lurkers. So I think he's probably going to be pretty happy with this. Let's see how Classic responds. Just keeping it one gate.
You were talking about that 4th base for Classic and how hard it has been for him to secure that against Dark. And even when he did get it in game number 2, Dark was able to just slowly choke him out there. So if you take a look at this map, the 4th base for Classic, if he wants it to be anywhere close to him, is going to be towards Dark. And Dark can easily get a nice position there before Classic has an opportunity to even get to that 4th base. So I wonder if Classic is going to try to do something differently here, maybe put on a bit more aggression, hit a timing before lurkers come out, or is he just going to try to, you know, go with what he's practiced and try to just play it differently this time around?
I think that's, you pretty much summed up very well. Classic does go Phoenix first here, as looks to be clearing out those overlords again, kind of like I was talking about in game 1. So same sort of build, exactly what you were talking about. I thought maybe we might see an Oracle here just because of the proximity of the bases. Not going to be the case. So we do have fast Overlord speed here for Dark, so we can use that to scout very early on. We might see Ling drops or something like that later on in this game, but so far it looks to be just for scouting. just for gaining the information. It'll also be helpful versus Phoenix aggression too, because save your overlords.
If you look out at the map, there's not a single overlord that's over by Classic. He's actually kept them all back and secured safe and sound. And I think that little dot up to the top left may be a now fast overlord that's going to look to swing around the back and get that scouting done. He's making a big swell of lings here, maybe to pressure that third base that's coming up for Classic.
Yeah, he doesn't have an Evo chamber yet, so okay, just as I said that, he starts one. So there's a high chance we will be seeing a ling drop actually from that northern overlord. Look at the lings even heading straight towards it. Looks like he's going to be aggressive with them on the ground first at this third base. Pylons are set up though, and that overcharge is ready.
Yeah, not really going to find the damage here. He's going to look to poke up into the natural, but 4 Adepts are in position. A couple of sentries on the way to help out with that.
You know, he has enough units on the ground that a drop isn't going to be devastating if it goes off, but it definitely could pull Classic's attention away from this location. He does split those lings off to that northern overlord now. And a few Phoenixes over here just trying to find something, but early spores, very safe, is Dark in this game. He made a lot of lings though, so he does need to capitalize on that. All right, this overlord is transformed, and he's going to go for that drop.
Yeah, we don't have much here in the main for Classic, but as you said, Classic, his positioning on the units is not that far away, but I'm not sure if he's going to expect this. This is going to be interesting to see. Oh, he actually loses a Phoenix there. And here comes the Overlord in the main.
Yep, here it comes, and these probes are ripe for the picking. Now he's sending his units down to the third base a little bit too as well right now. Here we go, Lings coming in, probes instantly attack actually. And he's gonna lose a lot of probes for this. Meanwhile, the third base is exposed, late overcharge on that. And he will eventually push these Lings back, but he's lost so many probes already.
Yeah, he's lost 11 probes in total from both the main and the third base. Just a slight bit of harass from Dark is going to get him way, way far ahead in this one.
Oh man, you know, I feel like this is one of those changes in Legacy, the faster Overlord drop that you can get, that we have seen so many pros utilize, and still people, you know, they just never see it coming. There's almost never do I see an Overlord drop come in a pro match where the player is just looking for it and stops it. It's always some sort of disruption.
Yeah, so now Classic very far behind on Workers, about 15 behind. The fourth base for Dark is not that early. Of course, he did have to delay some, but he's got a very nice number of drones here. He can easily get that fourth base up and running, and definitely feeling good about his position right now.
Yeah, look at where Dark's tech is too. I mean, okay, so almost loses a Hydra there. Actually gets saved by that cancel, but Dark has a ton of Hydras out now. He's going to have Hydra range, and he may even skip Lurkers here because he's so ahead. If you look at the army supply, he's like doubling the army supply of Classic, and his army supply is in units that counter what Classic has built. Classic has 2 Zealots and 5 Adepts, and then a few Phoenixes. Not to mention the Lings on the ground.
Now, coming in for another swoop, but not quite getting the damage that time around. Going to force one small overcharge.
And this is going to end up being most likely a repeat of what happened before if Dark doesn't kill Classic faster. If he decides to just simply make Lurkers instead, then Classic will never be able to take a fourth. But I think he's just going to smash him right here, right now, and this game will end.
And he's coming across the map right now. That is a gigantic number of Hydras that are already out on the map. We got the Lurker Den about halfway complete here. A big swell of Lings also coming across the map. That charge and the Storm is going to line up, though, with this attack. And if he can get some money Storms out of those Hydras, he may have a chance to hold for now if Dark does fight before the Lurkers come out.
You know, I think he's going to go for a Hydra drop. We just saw several Overlords morphed, and I know they basically look the same. They just got these little horns on them, but look at that. We're going to see a Ling Hydra drop into the main base as he attacks the front. He has that much supply of units that this could actually work. There are Phoenixes patrolling for this, but they're not enough.
They won't be enough, and the positioning is interesting. If the angle that Dark does come in, oh, the Phoenixes are in position.
Okay, here we go. But there's a lot more Hydras coming up. He could actually even ferry some of these units in. Once the Hydras start popping out, these Phoenixes will not be able to defend.
Oh, and he only got the Overlord that had a bunch of Lings in it. Now Classic struggling to split up his army, but Dark attacking from all sides right now.
11 Lurkers on the way, meanwhile, for the follow-up attack, and here come more and more Lings and Hydras. He has so many units, he's got 2 armies. attacking at once. The Storm hits a ton of links, but it's just not going to matter.
Yeah, he's fighting before the Lurkers are out here, but he's just got such a dominant army right now in a huge position. So advantageous right now for Dark. Oh, the Lurkers throw right in front of everything. Classic's gone.
Disgusting damage here. Terrible, terrible damage even. And that is going to be a 3-0.
Now that was one of the most devastating 3-0s I have watched here. GG. Dark gonna take it, snatch it away from Classic, and move on to the round of 4.
Dark, I'd say Dark and Classic, both players, you see them either crush or be crushed in a series. You know, if you think about Dark's ZVZs, think about his Kesma Cup, performance, and you think about Classic's finals. He's won a GSL and a Star League. Both wins were dominant, one-sided performances overall. Even his performance at IEM, Shenzhen. And I feel like when he gets frustrated, when he's behind in the matchup, he does not do well. His confidence just was lacking. It wasn't there. You know, he was really, really struggling. And I think that was the perfect time in a best of 5 to see the link drop aggression from Dark, because he wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. So very well done. We are going to have our interview with our winning player Dark here. Let's see what he has to say. Congratulations.
오늘 경기에서 확실히 많은 사람들이 느끼셨을 것 같아요. 물이 올랐구나. 본인은 어떠세요?
저도 그렇게 생각하긴 하는데 되게 긴장이 많이 돼서 좀 보완해야 될 것 같아요.
오늘 단실수가 느껴지지 않을 수밖에 없었던 게 박령호 선수의 경기 테마가 전반적으로 초반에 대치고 자원 물량 확보, 그 다음 가시지옥 운영, 물론 마지막 세트는 대군주 드랍도 훌륭했지만 이런 테마를 준비해 오신 이유가 있나요?
사실 제가 좀 공격적인 빌드를 많이 써서
for today's match?
제가
I wanted to play aggressively today.
좀 맞춤식으로 대응해 올 것 같아서 약간 페이크 주는 형식으로 준비한.
I know the style of Classic very well.
꼬고
I wanted to
똑같군요.
counter his style
사실 박명호
specifically.
선수가 16강에서도 프로토스를 이기고 올라왔어요.
네.
T1의 프로토스
Around the
김명수
16,
선수를
you
이기고
defeated a
올라왔고
Protoss player.
오늘 역시 T1의 프로토스 김도훈 선수를
Their
물리치고
SKT
올라왔는데
won, Protoss player.
같은 팀의 프로토스 상대로 이렇게 강력한
And here you've
모습을
done it
보여주고
again
있는 이유가
tonight.
있나요?
Another SKT1 Protoss player.
그런 건 딱히 왜 이런지 잘 모르겠는데 그냥 도호 형이 제 스타일을 의식을 좀
How do
많이
you feel
해서
about your continuous
좀 많이
team kills?
웅크려 있었던 것 같아요. 그래서 전 편하게 좀 게임할 수 있었던 것 같아요.
네, 근데 박용호 선수의 오늘 경기력이 그냥 정말
He doesn't really care
잘해요.
about team kills.
프로토스가 뭘 가장 싫어하고
he feels like
까다로워하는지
Classic cared a bit
제대로 알고
more.
있던 것 같은데 평소에 연습실에서
He was able
김명식
to.
선수나
He doesn't
김도훈
think the
선수랑
Classic
하면은
was playing
어떤가요?
at
안
his
지는
100% today.
안 지진 않은데 오늘 진짜 정말 열심히 준비해서
So
정말 이렇게 좀 압도하는 상황이 나올 수 있었던 것 같아요.
he said,
두 번째 경기
you know,
그 레리랑마루 경기를
this
생각을 해보면
basically happened because he
김도우
was insanely
선수의
well
여서
prepared for
일곱
today.
경기량의
Practiced a
사도가
bunch, so
와서
that's kind of the
일벌레를
situation arose
무지막지하게
where
잡았잖아요.
Classic
계속
played his
돌아다니면서
best, but he played
일벌레를
his best, and he
잡아주더라고요.
practiced a bunch
거기서
of this
멘탈을
matchup.
수습하고 다시 한 번 더 중장기전을 도모한다는 게 정말 어려운 일이었을 텐데 내가 어떤 식으로 플레이를 해야겠다 그 당시에도 마음을
We're talking about actually how
먹었잖아요.
many drones he
사실
lost
그렇게
to the
사도한테
adepts,
좀
and that was really
털리고
tough.
나서 제 사도는 여전히 사기구나라는 걸 느끼고 약간
After losing a
분노의
lot of
러쉬를
those drones, the
발휘했는데
adepts,
불리하더라도 운영 한번
he
해보자
actually
해서
thought,
좀
The depths are still
여유롭게
yeah, he's
보고 했던
basically like,
게
adepts are still broken.
이렇게 승리를 이끌어준 것 같아요.
So he had to kind of like
그리고
gather
정말 궁금한 건 그
his
드라운
mind
류의
together after that
플레이를
moment, and
김명식 선수랑 할
was
때도
able to
그랬고
come
오늘
네.
경기에서도
out
그랬고
victorious.
굉장히 작은 분량의 드랍 규모지만 그걸로 정말 큰 어떤 그
치명적인
재미 정말 많이 봤어요.
네.
그거
So
어떻게
he used
막나요,
overlord
프로토스가?
drops.
사실 본진에 사도를
Both matches against
배치해놓으면
Myungshik and
아무것도
Classic.
못하는데
Will you
도호
tell us about
형이
that?
첫 번째 판하고 두 번째 판은 의식을 많이 하시더라고요. 근데 세 번째 판에 안 하셔서 그게 좀 많이 털어서 유리하게 갔던 것 같아요.
이제 조금 그 팀원들을 이기고
어.
올라간 만큼 부담이 좀 되진 않나요? 더
So
잘해야겠다
basically
이런
prepared for
생각.
drops in
이런
game
질문이
1 and 2,
올라왔어요.
but
PYK
he actually didn't leave his adepts in the
1998님께서
main, which we were
박명호
talking about
선수에게
actually.
팀킬이란
So
사실 캐스파컵 때도 어윤수
bit of a slower
선수에게
reaction
지고
there.
준우승을 했고 그 다음에 팀킬에 대한 징크스를 스스로
So you got
느꼈는데
second
김명수
place
선수도
losing to Sue in the
이기면서 좀
Casper
부담이
Cup.
덜 하셨을 것 같은데 어떠신가요?
팀킬에 정말 안 좋은 추억들이 많은데
It says,
이번에
you know,
이렇게 2연속
obviously he doesn't
팀킬을
like
이기고 나서 좀
team
자신감
kills.
붙은 것 같고 좀 팀원들한테 좀 미안한
He has a lot
마음이
of
있지만
bad memories, I
미안한
believe, is what he said
마음을
about team kill matches.
연습량으로
He
늘려서
feels bad for his teammates.
우승해서 맛있는 거 사주려고요.
네, 앞으로의 박명우 선수의 모습 더욱 기대하도록 하겠습니다. 박명우 선수에게 큰 박수
I'm
부탁드립니다.
gonna take my teammates out, buy them something.
네, 이렇게 해서
He
4강
told me,
승자조에
or
진출한
Classic
박명우
told me in
선수까지
the maker room
만나봤고요.
that it was going to be coffee, but I think he wants to buy some food instead. Now, there you have it for our first best of 5.
Yeah, it was a pretty big smackdown by Dark, really making Zerg look very strong tonight. But guys, we're going to go to a 10-minute break before we get into our next matchup.